I'll never forget the day I stepped into Pinnacle Enterprises, mop in hand, another morning in my navy blue uniform. Name's Clara Thompson, 48 years old, and for 15 years, I was the invisible cleaning lady. Executives in tailored suits rushed past me, their polished shoes tapping against the marble floors of that towering Chicago high-rise. To them, I was nothing, until I wasn't. It all started with a spilled coffee and a cruel laugh from CEO Victor Lang, his voice echoing through the halls. That's when I decided I'd had enough. Hey, where are you watching this from? Drop your city in the comments, I'd love to know. Every night, I pushed my cart through empty offices, the city skyline glowing beyond massive windows. Victor's corner office. A disaster zone. Papers everywhere, coffee cups piling up, he acted like he owned the place. I'd hear him barking orders, firing people without blinking, laughing with his buddies about trimming the fat. Once, I caught him shredding documents, financials he didn't want anyone to see. I kept scrubbing, stayed quiet. But I was always watching. What would you do if you saw something shady like that? One Tuesday, it got personal. I was mopping the lobby when Victor strutted in with his entourage, loud and smug. Someone had spilled coffee near the elevators, probably one of them. He pointed at me. "Clean it up, Grandma." The staff turned, watching. He laughed. They laughed. I stood there, mop in hand, my face burning. I wanted to fire back, but I swallowed it and kept my head down. That night, pushing my cart alone, I made myself a promise. He'd regret that. Ever had to bite your tongue like that? I wasn't always just a cleaning lady. 15 years ago, my uncle, a savvy investor, passed away, leaving me something no one knew about, shares in Pinnacle Enterprises. A lot of them. I could have cashed out, walked away, but instead, I stayed. I watched as Victor gutted the company, laid off good people, janitors, assistants, while buying himself another yacht. Those shares. My secret weapon. After that humiliation, I called Tom, an old friend. A lawyer. "It's time," I told him. "What's the longest you've ever waited to settle a score?" Tom met me at a diner across town, away from Pinnacle's prying eyes. Over greasy fries, I laid it all out, Victor's shady layoffs, the shredded papers, the way he treated us like trash. Tom leaned in, eyes sharp. "Clara, you're the majority shareholder," he said. "You can take him down." I'd been gathering evidence, photos, financials, emails about illegal cuts. I had proof. Tom grinned. We hit him at the shareholders' meeting. Hard. My heart pounded. Ever catch someone doing something they thought they'd get away with? The meeting was a week away. I played my part, mopping floors like always. Victor paraded around, bragging about record profits. My phone buzzed with Tom's texts, our case was airtight. Late at night, I slipped into the copy room, printing the emails I'd fished from the trash. His lies, his theft, all there in black and white. One night, I overheard him laughing on the phone, squeezing the little people. I smiled to myself. He had no idea what was coming. "What's the sneakiest thing you've ever pulled off?" The night before the meeting, I couldn't sleep. My tiny apartment was silent, but my mind raced. I stared at the stack of papers. My uniform hung nearby, still smelling of bleach. Tomorrow, I'd walk in, mop in hand, and they'd laugh, until they didn't. I whispered to myself, tomorrow, Victor's done. What keeps you up at night before a big move? The morning of the meeting, I walked in like always, bucket rattling, head down. The boardroom buzzed with voices. Victor sat at the head of the table, smug. I waited outside, gripping my cart. Then Tom texted, "Now." I pushed open the doors. Silence fell. Victor snorted. "What's she doing here?" he scoffed, waving me off. I took a deep breath. I'm not just the cleaning lady, Victor, I said. I own this company. Ever seen someone's face drop like that? Victor forced a laugh. Nice joke, sweetheart. Get back to your mop. The board chuckled, until I pulled out my folder, slammed it on the table, and started reading. Falsified reports. Illegal layoffs. His own emails calling us disposable. Faces turned pale. I have the shares, I said. And I have the votes. Tom laid out the evidence. Victor's jaw tightened. You can't do this, he sputtered. Oh, I can, I shot back. Victor, you're fired. What's it like to watch a bully squirm? The boardroom erupted. Victor turned red, fists clenched. This isn't over, he hissed, storming out. I stayed calm. Then I turned to the board. Things changed today, I said. No more layoffs for profit. No more treating people like dirt. They nodded, stunned. But I wasn't done. I pulled out my phone, showing a photo of the cleaning crew. These folks deserve raises. Starting now. At first, the room was quiet. Then, a few claps. Then more. For the first time in 15 years, I felt seen. Ever had a moment where you finally got to speak? That evening, my phone exploded with news alerts. Pinnacle CEO ousted in shareholder coup. Then it got better. Regulators saw my leaks, his accounts frozen, his yacht seized. Twitter called him a fraud, a bully. Karma came fast. Ever watched someone's world crash overnight? The next day, Pinnacle felt different. I walked in, no uniform, just jeans and a sweater. People looked at me, not with pity, but respect. The cleaning crew grinned. Clara, you really did it, one said, handing me a coffee. I laughed, for the first time in years. Later, I sat in Victor's old office, signing papers. Raises. Ethical changes. The view was the same, but now, it was mine. What does it feel like to finally be seen? By noon, my inbox overflowed, reporters, old co-workers. One email stood out. A janitor Victor fired for asking for a sick day. You gave us our dignity back. That night, I met Tom at our diner. He smirked. You're trending, Clara. Cleaning lady CEO. I shook my head, laughing. I just wanted Victor gone. Tom leaned back. You did more than that. You woke up an entire company. We toasted with soda cans like kids. Chicago's lights blinked the same, but I felt different. Stronger. What's the sweetest victory you've ever tasted? A week later, I went live on TV. Told my story, mop, shares, Victor's downfall. The host asked, why'd you wait so long? I thought for a second. I needed proof. And the right moment. Calls flooded in. People cheering, crying, saying I'd inspired them to speak up. I left the studio, shaking, but proud. Ever inspired someone without meaning to? Back at Pinnacle, I made small changes that mattered. First note in the suggestion box. More coffee. I laughed, ordered another machine. A janitor, Miguel, pulled me aside. My kid saw you on TV, he said. She wants to be you someday. I blinked back tears. Tell her to be better than me. Victor tried one last attack, a lawsuit. It got tossed in hours. His empire crumbled. Last I heard, he was selling condos in some nowhere town. Forgotten. Me? I'm no hero. Just a cleaning lady who got fed up. If I can do this, so can you. Hit that like button. Subscribe. And tell me, where's karma headed next?